Welcome to the Courtroom Club. Today we're focusing on something really crucial for many South Africans, especially as we look towards 2025. It's all about understanding how to remove that debt review status and, really take back control of your financial future.
That's right. And here at Jonker Vorster Attorneys, we definitely see how debt review offers vital protection when things get tough financially. It's all structured under the National Credit Act, of course. But let's be honest, the main goal for almost everyone is to get through it successfully, clear that status, and be ready for what's next financially.
Exactly. And being part of the team here at Jonker Vorster Attorneys, this is something we deal with day in, day out. We're really passionate about giving people the right information to regain their independence. So let's dive right in. If you're under debt review now and you're thinking about 2025 and wanting a fresh start, how do you actually get that flag removed? Let's start with the most common way.
Okay, yeah. The main way, the sort of standard route to exit debt review is simply by settling all the debts that were included in the plan. We're talking things like personal loans, credit cards, maybe store accounts, overdrafts, those kinds of shorter term agreements.
Right. And what about the big one, the home loan? How does that fit in?
Good question. Usually, if your home loan was completely up to date when you first entered debt review, it might have been kept separate. But the absolute key thing is that all the other debts, the ones in the plan, have to be paid off completely. And just making partial payments or keeping up with arrangements, unfortunately, that doesn't cut it for getting the flag removed this way. And definitely, if you've missed payments, you're still under review.
Okay, so full settlement is non-negotiable for this route. Got it. Once someone has paid off all those included debts, what happens next?
So once everything's settled, the really critical next step is getting what's called a clearance certificate. It's officially known as Form 19. This piece of paper is basically the formal proof that you've done everything required under the debt review order.
And who actually issues this certificate? Can you just get it anywhere?
No, absolutely not. Only a debt counselor who is properly registered with the National Credit Regulator, the NCR, can legally issue it. They have to issue it once they've confirmed all your short-term debts are paid, and if your home loan was included, that it's up to date too.
Right, okay. So the registered debt counselor provides the Form 19. Then what?
Then it's the debt counselor's job to send that certificate off to all the credit bureaus in South Africa. That notification is what tells the bureaus, okay, remove the debt review flag for this person. Keep in mind, it might take slightly different times for each bureau to update.
And what if, you're waiting and nothing seems to happen on your credit report? What can you do?
Well, you absolutely have the right to get confirmation from the bureaus that your record is updated. If it doesn't happen within a reasonable time, say a few weeks, you can and probably should escalate it. File a formal complaint with the NCR. They oversee the bureaus and can step in if there are unnecessary holdups.
That's really good to know there's recourse. Now, what if someone's situation changes quite a bit? Maybe their income goes up significantly and they feel they don't need debt review anymore, even before all the debts are paid. Is there an option then?
Yes, there is another way, though it's generally a bit more involved legally. It falls under Section 87 of the National Credit Act. Essentially, you can apply to the magistrate's court to be declared no longer over-indebted. This could be an option if, say, your finances have really turned around, or maybe even if there was some kind of error in the initial assessment.
So you're basically going to court and saying, look, my situation has changed. I can handle my debts now.
Precisely. You're asking the court to review your current financial standing. If the court agrees and grants the application, that order can lead to the debt review flag being removed. It also means you could potentially access credit again, and you'd be released from the debt review obligations.
Okay, that sounds like a pretty major legal undertaking. What does that process typically involve?
Oh, it definitely requires proper legal help. You'd need someone like us at Jonker Vorster Attorneys. You'll have to gather quite a bit of financial proof, bank statements, pay slips, budgets to show the court your improved situation. And yes, usually you'll need to appear in court. It's not really a DIY kind of thing.
Understood. So two main paths: full settlement and the clearance certificate, or the court application route. Let's talk timings. How long does it usually take for the flag to actually disappear once you've gone down one of these routes? Starting with the settlement path.
Okay, so if you've paid everything off, got your clearance certificate, and the debt counselor has sent it in, you're typically looking at somewhere between 7 and, say, 21 working days for the credit bureaus to update their systems. That includes the time for the counselor to act and for the bureaus to process it all.
And what might slow that down? Any common roadblocks?
Sometimes delays happen, yeah. Could be the debt counselor being a bit slow getting the certificate submitted, or maybe the bureaus themselves just have a backlog. It happens.
Right. And the court application route. How long does that typically take?
That one's usually a bit longer. You're probably looking at an estimate of, maybe 30 to 90 days. It really depends on things like how busy the specific magistrate's court is, how complex your finances are, getting all the paperwork sorted, and actually getting a hearing date.
Is there anything someone can do to maybe speed things up a little? Be proactive?
Definitely. Especially with the court route, working with a legal team that knows the ropes, like us here at Jonker Vorster, really helps. We know how to prepare everything correctly and push things along efficiently. For both routes, getting all your documents ready early on is key. Payslips, settlement letters, bank statements, have them handy. And, just staying in touch, following up politely but consistently with your counselor or lawyer helps keep things moving.
That makes a lot of sense. Preparation and
Yeah.
communication. Now, challenges do pop up. What are some common problems people run into trying to get this done? And what solutions can we suggest?
Well, one we hear about quite often is an unresponsive debt counselor. You've paid everything, but you just can't get hold of them to issue the clearance certificate. It's frustrating. In that situation, like we mentioned, you might need to engage a new registered counselor. Or, frankly, come to an attorney like us. We can often help chase down the payment history from the payment distribution agent, the PDA that handled your payments, and then help get the removal process started, even without the original counselor.
Okay, that's a good practical step. What about those credit bureau delays we talked about? If they're just not updating the profile?
Yeah, if it goes beyond, say, 20 business days or so, and you've confirmed the certificate was sent, your best bet is lodging that formal complaint with the National Credit Regulator, the NCR. They're the watchdog for this.
Right. And what if someone thinks they've paid everything, but it turns out an account isn't quite settled? Maybe there was interest outstanding or something.
Ah, yes. If any debt included in the review isn't fully 100% settled. Maybe it was settled for a lower amount, but without a specific agreement or court order dealing with the shortfall, then unfortunately the debt review flag stays put. In that kind of scenario, the court application route we discussed, Section 87(1)A, is usually the way forward. You'd ask the court to declare you're no longer over-indebted based on your overall current situation, even with that remaining bit.
We've covered a lot of ground. Let's quickly touch on a few FAQs we often get here at Jonker Vorster about removing debt review. First off, can you just remove yourself? Do it on your own.
Simple answer, no. The National Credit Act is very clear. Self-removal isn't an option. You absolutely need either that official clearance certificate from a registered debt counselor after full settlement, or you need a formal court order.
Okay, and another big question. Once a flag is gone, can you immediately get a loan? Is approval guaranteed?
That's a common hope, but no, it's not guaranteed. Removing the flag is a massive step, don't get me wrong. It clears a major hurdle. But lenders will still do their own checks. They'll look at your income, your job stability, your overall credit history, how you manage things before and during debt review. It helps, but it's not an automatic green light.
What if your original debt counselor just isn't around anymore? Maybe they closed shop or you just can't reach them.
Yeah, that happens. If your original counselor is out of the picture, you really need to find a new, currently registered debt counselor, or again, speak to an attorney who specializes in this, like our team here. We can help figure out where things stand, get the necessary info, and advise on the best way to proceed with the removal.
And finally, what if you missed some payments while you were under debt review? Does that cause problems when trying to exit?
It certainly can complicate things, yes, especially if you're going for the clearance certificate route. Missed payments suggest you didn't fully stick to the plan. Your counselor might hesitate to issue the certificate. In those cases, the court application might actually be the more appropriate path as the court looks at your current ability to manage, not just past adherence.
This has been incredibly helpful, really breaking down the process. So just to sort of wrap things up, why is getting this debt review flag removed so significant for people thinking about their financial future in 2025?
It's fundamentally about regaining your financial independence. Removing that flag opens doors. It restores your access to the credit market, which you might need for big life steps, and it signals on your credit report that you've successfully managed a difficult financial period. It's a clean slate, essentially.
So the two main pathways again: settle everything included, get the clearance certificate from your registered counselor. Or, if that's not possible yet, apply to the magistrate's court to be declared no longer over-indebted. And for anyone listening who feels ready now, who wants to take that step towards financial freedom in 2025 and get that flag removed, what should they do next?
Well, if you're serious about moving forward, we at Jonker Vorster Attorneys are absolutely here to help. This is exactly what we do. We can review your specific situation, advise on the best route for you, and provide that expert legal representation if the court application is needed. We help clients all across South Africa navigate this.
So if you're ready to explore those options, get that debt review flag removed, and really start planning your financial future, we really encourage you to reach out to us here at Jonker Vorster Attorneys.
Let's talk. We can assess where you are and guide you on the most effective path. Just start thinking about the possibilities, the flexibility you'll have once that flag is gone. A brighter financial future really is achievable.